So sex, money, power, these three pieces that really throughout all of humanity and civilization, there's been the largest amount of difficulty, challenge, and really abuse in many ways. So in this human experience that we're navigating through to learn how to more masterfully balance these three elements is something I know in my own life I've certainly struggled with, but I've learned a lot as well. And so the journey between how are these three actually deeply connected, between how we're financially stable in the world and how we can be a sovereign, powerful being to make choices from our own heart, and how we can actually be deeply connected to our sexual erotic nature.
Yeah, I feel like that where a lot of people miss the point with all of these energies is that they try to separate them. It's like sex isn't separate to money, and it's not separate to power, and power's not separate to sex or money. They're all inextricably woven, and sexuality especially is like the crescent moon that's kind of holding our power, holding the flow of energy between us and everything. So, sometimes people are doing all of the right stuff at a mind level to attract money and to build money. They're taking the action required. They're rewiring beliefs about money that are limiting and saying, abundance is flowing to me now, and I'm going to work this amount of hours to bring that abundance in. But they're not actually realizing that abundance, as well as power and any energy in existence, actually are always flowing from the source from which they came. And to really get in touch with more sex, more money, more power, we need to really ignite the flow of energy in our body so that the more sexually activated we are, actually the more money is coming in. The more our power is activated, the more money is coming in, and so on and so forth with the three of them. So really, in order to harness more power, harness more money, and become more sexually potent, there are practices that you can do which really start to work with these energies at a cellular level. And that's what you want to do. You want to work with them at a cellular level. And how do we do this? We really remove blockages that are in these areas. It's like if you have a look at your sexuality and you feel your sexuality, when you go to flow that energy, you're going to notice blocks. And there are specific practices to remove those blocks. And then the same can be said for money and power.
So this is part of what we help you do, is to remove these blocks in your cells so that you can flow more abundantly with these three elements. And I don't know any human on the planet who doesn't want a bit more money, sex, and power. And not that we're doing it in a greedy way, we're doing it so we can actually live in the fullness of what our human body entails. So as these three separate areas actually become a little bit more unified in this union inside of you, then the place in which you're coming from with your abundance and your money, the place in which you're coming from with your money, and how that actually shares and navigates into the people in your life, and where you're coming from with your power, when you're not trying to have power over people, but you're having power with, because you as a being feel sovereign and whole, and you can actually clear away anything that's not in the full essence of your powerful innate being. And when that can be the place in which you're moving from in the world, then who you are shows up more fully, more abundantly, and more clear. And when you can take that same level of energy from the bedroom as well, and to feel the fullness of being an erotic, wild, sexual being, and have all three of those centers deeply aligned in your body, then the possibilities are truly endless. And that's really what we're supporting individuals in doing, is clearing away some of those things that are getting in the way from fully living a life of deep potential and possibility.
And this permeates your relationships, your work relationships, your personal relationships. There's so much conflict and struggle tied in with power. It's like a lot of couples, they're trying to have power over each other, or employees, or organizations. Or, with money, people are holding on to it too tightly or worrying about it. And sexuality, you know, there's that, oh, I'm going to withdraw it or I'm going to extend it too much. So all of these energies, they're really at risk of going into shadow, right? Because they're big energies that we're really not taught how to work with. So in working with our power, really, you really need to do shadow work. And same with money and same with sex, because money, yes, so often does go into greed. And power does so often go into power over. And sex so often goes into just desire without really tuning into the other person. So these energies get a bad rap, you know. They're kind of like, people get very afraid of them. But when sex, money, and power can be harnessed in a way that they're flowing and fluid and really being given full permission to be claimed in our lives, to be claimed in our bodies through powerful practices, then that just permeates into every area and we start to succeed in really manifesting our passion in the world. We start to have more fluid relating where we can really trust each other deeply with power and with money and with our sexuality. And we start to make love to all of life. You know, it's not just restricted to the bedroom anymore. You can wrap it up.
Yeah, so if you are in fact interested in diving into some of these areas with us, there's information below. We have retreats coming up. We have masterclasses coming up. Come join us. Find out more information below. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to see you become more powerful with your own money, sex, and power.
Thanks, everyone.